Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review. And it is another latest news, transfer news show. And, I wish I had a whole book to go through of Newcastle United bids and approaches and things like that, but I don't. And it's not really been the start of the window that we thought it might be. There's certain players going to other clubs who we will link with. There seems to be nothing really coming out of Newcastle United. But I pose the question tonight, really, is no news good news? So we'll get into it. We'll have a little chat because it also looks like Liverpool are going to be selling Luis Diaz. Will that open the door for a bid for Anthony Gordon? I am joined tonight by my old mucker, Billy Trey. Good evening, Billy.
Good evening, and good evening to all the Magpie Massive and Toon Review Massive and the fantastic people out there in Viewerland.
So, Billy, how do you think the window's going at the minute? Are you excited? Are you still buzzing?
Doesn't seem to be much business going full stop, really, is there? I mean, there's lots of clubs that haven't done anything. We're not the only ones.
Yeah.
So buzzing's strange. It's just a bit meh to me.
It is. It is.
People that are doing business are the usual suspects, aren't they? The likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, you know. But even Arsenal haven't sold anyone yet.
No. There's a lot of stuff going on, behind the scenes and chat behind the scenes saying Newcastle could be waiting to the PSR deadline when teams are panic selling. But surely that's not the case for every signing that we're going to go for. We're not just going to sort of splash around looking for bargains, are we? I mean, that's surely not how we're working in these windows. I know the window is open till the 10th, and then it shuts for a couple of weeks and then reopens, doesn't it? But it's a lot of fans pretty much frightened that we're going to miss out on the original targets that maybe Mitchell and Howe had before the start of the window.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows who we want and who we don't want? Because we've not made any official bids yet. No. So everything we are speculation on is literally that, speculation.
I mean, look, all these players that are getting linked, it's great conversation. It creates a bit of a buzz around the fan base. We're looking at the right kind of players. But now we're sort of coming to the end of the fifth day of the transfer window. There's literally been nothing from Newcastle United, as in, even a hint of approaching a player. I mean, there was a report today that I did in the news saying that we may have approached Chelsea for Madueke, but that doesn't fill me with excitement, Billy. I don't know why. I mean, last season I was buzzing if we'd gone for him. But now, good start to the season last year, but he tailed off, didn't he?
Well, yeah, they signed Neto, of course, didn't they? In January, so it was hard for him to get a place. I think it'd be a great signing for us.
Yeah,
England international, I think he's a really, really good player, and he still hasn't reached his level yet. He's still got seeding to hit. So I'd be quite pleased with Noni Madueke. I think he's a good player, really good player.
But is he the elite signing? Is that an elite signing in your eyes?
I guarantee it would be elite money we'd be paying for him because he's an England international.
Well, yeah, but he is the problem.
Yes, I'd say he would. Yeah, I'd say he is.
Right. Well, here's the problem we've got because Chelsea apparently value him at 42 million quid. Right. Newcastle's valuation of him in that media report is 35. So again, we're at a crossroads where Chelsea value the player at 1, we value the player at less than that. But it's only 7 million quid. So if we're serious about going for Madueke, then just go and buy the fucking player. You know what I mean? Let's not say, oh yeah, but we value him at £7 million less. We've got to stop doing this, surely. And I mean, I know this is all just media speculation that this is going on, but again, we've seen it happen before where we valued a player, but the selling club have valued him at slightly more, and we've ended up going back and forwards, Gahey, for instance, and it just doesn't work. When are we just going to say, right, let's go and aggressively buy a player?
I mean, Gahey was different, wasn't it? We actually reached 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
7 million is a lot of money in amortization terms, isn't it? I mean, it's 30 million over 4 years.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful. But having said that, I'm sure you can do a dance somewhere in between the two. You have them 38, see if they bite on that. Yeah, if not, you just take your choice, don't you? You pay your money and take your choice. But
yeah,
if they can't afford the 5-year amortization of 35 million, it's horrible, this PSR thing, because people literally are counting every penny. It's ridiculous.
But I don't hope it. I just don't. I hope it doesn't get to the stage, Billy, where we're penny pinching again, because we've been told so many times that we're out of any problem with PSR now, so there's no reason to penny pinch. You know what I mean? And I just hate the fact that for a couple of million here or there that we're going to start just being a bit awkward again, trying to sign the player. I mean, if we went in at 38, 39, maybe Chelsea would take a look at that. But valuing them at a less fee like that, I guess we've been there and done it. We've seen it all before. And I know, I said on my video earlier today that the panic hasn't set in for me yet, and it hasn't. But there is a little bit of a nervous worry about the situation because of simply what's gone on before.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating more than the panic, isn't it? It was, People are signing players. We've been wanting to sign players for 3 windows. You'd have thought we'd have targets lined up to go straight away, but we haven't.
But that's what I'm talking about, though.
Maybe we'll wait until the end of July, end of June, literally, because that's when the contracts end. There's maybe it's freebies we're after. I don't know. There's lots of things that we could be doing. The PSR is a constant worry. It's not just get rid of it one season.
If the free transfer.
Yeah, you've got to keep going. PSR is something you're constantly worried about.
Yeah. If the free transfers, though, then surely we should be trying to negotiate for when the contracts end. Like,
who says we haven't?
Well, I mean, it's just that it's very weird, isn't it? It is very weird. I'm just not sure anymore. Ollie, who's been a member for 25 months, thank you, mate. Always the same with us. We'll randomly sign someone without any news about it. And Rachel, of course, one of our mods forever. Member for 35 months. Thanks, Rach. The silence from the club is deafening. Hopefully, that is good news. Well, one bit of good news, Billy, is we do have a signing. And there he is. Antonio Cordero, officially announced, even though his contract hasn't actually ended yet with Malaga, but he's now done the photo shoot for Newcastle. And his quote was very interesting, Billy. I don't know if you watched me earlier show, saying that he turned Madrid down, he turned Barcelona down, and said very complimentary about Newcastle, about the ambition and to win trophies.
Yeah, Antonito looks a very bright young thing, doesn't he? He looks like he's here to win things. Obviously, the plan is to send him on loan by all accounts for a season. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll do something pre-season, like you said in your video earlier, that kind of says he's ready now. And that'll save us a few quid, won't it? Because I think he's a right winger as well, isn't he? So, absolutely.
Chris and Evermore, good evening, buddy. Get across and subscribe to Evermore. Great friends of the channel. I thought the young man spoke really well in his interview, to be fair. Love to see it. Aaron Taylor, member for 5 months, says, I don't want to give any money to Newton Heath, Chelsea, or any other of the cartel that put themselves in the shite. Let them rot. Well, I'd love to see them rot. But sometimes, needs must. And we need players. I mean, right now, we've got more players being linked with a move away than we do coming in, Billy.
We do.
And that's a little bit strange because nobody knows what's happening with Nick Pope at the moment. Cordero's come in, but as you say, is the plan to loan him out? We don't know. Maybe he will impress in pre-season. I would assume Eddie will want to at least look at him for a little bit in pre-season, Billy.
I would imagine so. Yeah, I imagine so. We've got big games coming up. We've got Atletico Madrid to play. We're going to go to Korea as well, don't we? So there's plenty of scope to see him. Where we'll go on loan if he does go on loan. No, I won't want him to go back to Spain. I don't see the point. I think he needs to go somewhere different to Spain.
Yeah. Well, he was. I mean, if you believe reports, it was planned to send him back to Malaga, wasn't it, for a season? But
yeah,
unfortunately, Malaga
he's pissed with his chips, hasn't he? With them apparently.
Well, he has, and they're not very happy with Newcastle either for the way that the move was announced. So I don't think that's going to happen. But listen, I'm looking forward to seeing Cadero, but we need new players. We need experienced players as well. Ryan is a new member of the channel. He's a member, but he's a mod. But I'm sure that's a renewal, Billy. I'm sure Ryan's been a member for a while now. Who knows? Canadians are very tight with the money. Joke. I joke. I know we've got a lot of Canadians subscribe to the channel. Now we have to talk about this, Billy, because I think this is probably this is something that's not going to go away over the summer, and that is the Liverpool links with Anthony Gordon, because it seems today like there is some more movement with Luis Diaz. It looks like he will be leaving, which of course opens the door for a bid for Anthony Gordon. Now, we did speak about this a couple of nights ago and saying, would we take £80 million? I think if a bid of even close to that comes in, I don't think we turn that down.
No, neither do I. The Diaz situation is interesting. His representatives are talking to other clubs, so obviously they've had some sort of nudge to the stomach. We're looking at moving Luis Diaz on.
Yeah.
Although he's saying that he's waiting, maybe Liverpool can offer him another contract and he's still got 2 years, etc., etc. But to me, it looks reading between the lines that he's been told he's on his way. And if that's the case, then they could easily come in for Anthony Gordon and pay you £80 million easily. And I think they might spend that, and they might spend more than that. Because I'll get some money for Diaz. He's still got 2 years in his contract.
Well, I was just going to ask you, how much would you value Luis Diaz at?
I'm sure they get. 2 years. I'm sure they get 50, 60 million for him. At the very least.
Would you have him at Newcastle?
Yeah, but I don't think he'll come here. I think he's set on going abroad, if anywhere.
Because all I'm saying is, if Gordon did want to go to Liverpool, in his own mind, he wanted to go, could we do a deal with Diaz?
I just don't think he wants to. I think if he's leaving Liverpool, then he's going to.
Or has he set his mind on overseas somewhere else?
Well, I think so. I think Real Madrid, Barcelona, someone like that. He's looking at a top European side. And as great as we are, I don't think we're in that label yet.
Yeah. I mean, look, Gordon's been good for us, but let's be honest, he had an average. I think he was an average season. If you asked Anthony Gordon if he had a good season last year, I think he'd be very honest and say no. I think there was good patches from Anthony Gordon, but on the whole, I'm not so sure that Anthony Gordon would turn around and say he had a brilliant season. It was a mixed season with some good bits, some bad bits, some injury bits. And I really do think 80 million quid, if Liverpool did come in, I don't think we turn it down. I genuinely believe he will leave the club. He's a Liverpool fan, as we know. And I think with all that happened last summer, I don't think they want to mess Anthony Gordon around again, Billy. I think if an offer came in and we accepted it, then I don't think he'd hesitate at going to speak to them.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. And I think if you've got the right money, I think that'd be a deal that would be done. I mean, I'd like him to stay personally, but
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Every player's got his price, I guess, and if we can double his money, then I guess he'd be on his way. But as I say, it's nothing set in stone with that, of course, because Luis Diaz is still a Liverpool player, and he may end up staying there until he moves. And I don't think they're coming for Gordon.
But I don't think this is one of them deals, Billy, that's going to happen. That's a quickly done deal. This will drag on over the summer, because I think I get the feeling that Liverpool maybe have said to his representatives, look, if there's an offer there, maybe find another club, but we don't necessarily want to lose you. There's no pushing out the door, so to speak, which gives the indication that they're not desperate to sell him. And I mean, why would you? He's a fantastic player, Luis Diaz. He's an excellent player. You don't want to lose players like that. But if they believe they can get Anthony Gordon, if they got rid of Diaz, Darwin Núñez as well, they don't know if he's staying at Liverpool yet. So they may get a lot of money coming in to spend on other players in during the summer, but I don't think it's going to happen in this short-term window. This is kind of, this would remind me of something that maybe if they did do a deal for Diaz and then there was rumours kicking about Anthony Gordon, I could see it going right down to deadline day.
Maybe, but I think we'll have. It's strange how we are linked with left-sided forwards, aren't we? It's very odd.
Well, that's the strange thing, isn't it? We were talking about that before we came on.
Yeah, lots of us lots of the players we're linked with.
Yeah,
and there's no smoke without fire. So sometimes we are interested in these players. The likes of Grealish and people like that. They're all left-sided forwards. So why are we linked with those people? No, I can't see. Harvey Barnes on his way out at a minute. So.
Well, Harvey Barnes,
together, don't you?
Yeah, Harvey Barnes with what he said. I don't think Harvey's going anywhere. To be honest, I think he's very excited about playing next season. Gary Clark says, I think it's two things. First, lined up for PSR poaching. I think he's supposed to say. Second, those January 21 save our season transfers come off the PSR math on July the 1st. Jens says, if Liverpool get 80 million for Diaz and we get less for Gordon, no effing way. We should get away more for Gordon, younger, English, and so on. # cartel. Yeah, well, that's what we're saying, Jens. They'll not get 80 million for Diaz, but Newcastle apparently value Gordon at around 80 million, which I think Liverpool would pay in a second for Anthony Gordon. I do believe we'd get that. Kenny Scott, a member for 25 months now on the channel. Thank you very much. I'd hate to see AG leave in this window. Gary Clark again says, correction from last Super Chat, January 22, not 21. Look, there's another rumour kicking around. Well, not just a rumour, Billy. There is reports of Jack Grealish again. Now, Jack's had his critics, no doubt about it, but I mean, is he the kind of player that could just, get a bit of excitement into that Newcastle United squad as a new addition? Somebody that would get bums off seats. We keep saying whenever we watch Jack Grealish, Billy, and we've commentated on him, and he's one of those players that you hate on the other side, but you would love him to be in your team, winning your free kicks, giving you opportunities in dangerous situations. And I think he'd thrive under Eddie Howe. I don't know about you, but, I've had a good think about Jack Grealish, and I think, yeah, maybe not. And I think he would actually come to Newcastle.
I'm not a fan of it, I must be honest. At all. He doesn't do it. All he gains is free kicks for me. So this new set-piece coach who may come in handy. Maybe that's what we're doing it, because we're going to get Grealish and we're preparing for lots of free kicks. But no, not for me. Not for me. Doesn't do anything for me. Well, could play 2 or 3 years ago, but he doesn't beat a player, does he?
There's a lot of people in the chat saying that they like to have Jack Grealish, actually. Or Tom says I'm lukewarm on him. Yeah, we know about his wages, but if he's gonna leave Manchester City this summer, it's a loan deal. He's not, nobody's gonna pay those kind of wages. So I believe that Newcastle would pay some of the wages and Manchester City would make the rest up. And I think that's got to be the case if he goes wherever he goes on loan. There's no way everybody's going to pay that. Should we do a poll on Grealish, Billy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to see. I mean, we've got over 1,800 people watching, so this would be a sort of good time to have a look at this. So,
I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, I'd have said yes, but I mean, for me, it's been nothing in the last 2 or 3 years. That's why he's not in the England squad anymore.
Well, the poll's up now. We'll leave it up for around 10 minutes or so. It just says Grealish on loan, yes or no. Let's see where you guys sit on that. Let's have a look. Aaron Taylor says, Gordon wins your free kicks. Swapping one for another. Grealish is 29. Gordon's ceiling is higher. Yeah, but what we're talking about is if Gordon wants to leave. I mean, if Liverpool come in with an offer, Gordon is going to want to go. And I'm not saying that as a dig at Anthony Gordon. He's a Liverpool fan. And we know that there was ructions on at the start of the season. Anthony Gordon was publicly upset with the whole thing. It's a strange one, Billy. It is. I mean, I don't want to lose Gordon like you. I think Gordon's got a lot to do with this football club still.
And if Gordon was to go, I think there's better options than Jack Grealish. I think Jamie Bino Gittins is one of them. Mm-hmm. There's some really, really good left wingers we've been linked with, and I think all of them are better than Jack Grealish at this precise moment in time.
Well, Semenyo for me is a fantastic option from Bournemouth, who is normally on the right, but as we saw against us, Bill, he played on the left and was outstanding.
He played so
he can play either side. So Semenyo for me. I think I saw a comment earlier on saying he blows hot and cold. Semenyo, I think he's fantastic. I really do. I think he could give us an option, and possibly better than what Grealish is. But Shane Smith has been a member for 7 months now. Thank you, Shane. Started the show late, so I won't ask any questions like Peter Garthwaite does, bless him. No to Grealish. Jens with another super chat. The problem with Grealish is he is best as behind a striker, and we don't play with an attacking midfielder. As a left winger, he loses his way, in my opinion.
Well, he's been a left winger for the last 6-7 years, so...
Les says that Semenyo is the best ball-carrying option from the Premier League.
I like Semenyo. I think he's a good player. Yeah, a really good player.
Well, he always stands out against us, Billy, because we always in commentary, we whenever we're commentating on a Newcastle Bournemouth game, he stands out a mile. We always say, he's a brilliant player.
Him and Tavernier, yeah, both of them are really good. I'll take either.
Well, Tavernier is one of those that gets in your face, isn't he? He's one of those type players. And,
of course, Kluivert.
Well, Kluivert, obviously, his father has history with the club. Yvonne Kingswell says AG would jump at the opportunity to go back home. I think he would as well. Team Season says, Billy, did we not just get Champions League? Because the players we are linked with shoot out. We ain't competing or improving. Name me a player we are linked with better than what we have.
Well, and Bummer was definitely one of them. Yeah, it's we need depth. It's not about just improving the squad. We need depth. We need to have a side we can rotate.
We need a bigger squad. We've
got an extra 8 games this season to what we had last season, and maybe more if we get further in the FA Cup. So we need to increase the squad, not just about increasing the first team.
The squad's way too small. I mean, it's threadbare now.
Too many goalkeepers. Way too many goalkeepers.
And we're expecting. By the way, on the goalkeeper front, Billy, they did say it today that Nick Pope doesn't really want to leave. And it could be a case of Dubravka could be our number 3 goalkeeper next season. And James Trafford is still wanted by the club to be the number 1, which I'm very surprised about, that Nick Pope would actually agree to that, because if Trafford's coming in as the number 1, surely at Nick Pope's age, he still wants to be playing first team football.
I'm not sure the Trafford deal goes ahead at the minute. It's something that, Man City have been linked with him. They've got a first refusal on him, of course. So if they want him back, I think he doesn't come to us, and then we're left with Dubs and Pope again. But I don't mind having Pope and Dubs. So I think they're both really good goalkeepers.
Well, Billy, it looks like Timmy Krul might be coming back.
Well, that's all right, but I mean, that's homegrown, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, Tim Krul would know the role he's going to play, but he would jump at the chance to come back. But this is the thing. Yesterday, it was like filled with like all these old players coming back, and I'm thinking, God, it's a little bit depressing when we're linked with so many old boys coming back. But I can understand why they need to do that for the homegrown quota. Which says to me, Billy, that Longstaff will be leaving. So, he's still heavily linked with a move away. Joe Willock, the Fulham links won't go away.
Even Lewis Miley. I mean, there's links with him.
Lewis Miley today for Palace, yeah. I mean, I can't see that happening, Bill. I can't. But he is good. Listen, the thing is, when you're playing for a club like Newcastle now, and we're playing on such a big stage all the time now, there's going to be people looking at our players, especially players coming through the ranks. And, to be fair, why wouldn't anyone look at Lewis Miley? He's a top talent.
100%. And that's the reason why we should be selling him or even entertaining any bids for him. Not for the here and now, but for next season, the season after that, he's going to be a quality player. And therefore, for me, he's not for sale at any price. And I know I said every player's got his price, but not for young generational talents like Lewis Miley. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't see that. I can't see us even.
And certainly not Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I'd send Longstaff to Palace any day of the week, but not Louis Miley. Definitely
or Isaac Hayden, maybe.
Well, Isaac Hayden, yeah, he's still there. Alan Breadmore's been a member for 17 months now on the channel. Thank you, Alan. Evening, Paul and Billy. I've missed a couple of live shows, but always catch up listening to this great show at work the next day. Toon. Thank you very much, Alan. Sandro Tonali, Billy, going nowhere. That was I managed to bring a bit of positivity to the video today by going through his interview. He's always said in the past, hasn't he, that he's been very appreciative of the club and the fans, the way they stuck by him. But now he talks about having special bonds with players and bonds with the fans, and he's very, very happy. And yes, he does miss Italy when he's away from Italy for a good few weeks, which is perfectly understandable. I don't mind him saying that at all. But the fact is, I think we've got this guy for years to come and his best years as well. He will go back to Italy eventually. Of course he will. But I think we've got him for his best years, Bill.
100%. I mean, I don't think there's many fan bases. And to be honest, when the news came out of his what he'd been doing, a lot of us weren't happy. And we wanted recompensing for what we'd spent on him and all this kind of stuff. Well, I did anyway. But he did his band. We supported him through it. His name was still being chanted. His last game, he was teared his eyes before the ban. Came back and he performed as if he hadn't been away, and therefore the fans were clearly on his side. They were watching an elite player play week in, week out.
Yep.
And he's obviously loved by everyone at the club. He's just a terrific player. Love his character, what he's been through away from home as well. Yeah, he's an elite player. He really is, and I'm looking forward to another 3 or 4 years of him here.
Chris Evermore says Lewis Miley's going nowhere. He'll be Bruno's successor, in my opinion. I can't disagree. Yeah. I mean, but the players he's learning from, Billy. You look at Bruno, Tonali, Joe Linton. Players like that around him who he's training with on a daily basis. I mean, you can't get better players than that to train with on a daily basis to improve.
100%. Yeah, he's got 3 different types of player to learn, and that should make him a more rounded player, in my opinion. He's already got a fantastic base to work with, so.
Yeah,
2 or 3 years down the line, I mean, this kid's going to be playing for England every time England play. So,
yeah. Shane Smith with the super chat saying Bakayoko right wing, Diamande centre back, Trafford goalkeeper, Joel Perrault, the lead striker.
I'm not sure Leeds will be selling their star striker.
Not well, unless they received an outrageous bid. Naked Noise Boy's been a member for 16 months. Can we have some TTR car stickers for the wife, please? And small stickers, as I just ride motorbikes. Toon. They are on the website, my friend. They are there. We do stickers. Collex says the only comparable fans to the Geordies, possibly the fans of Brentford, for re-sparking Ericsson's career after his health scare. Chris at Evermore says, look how much he's developing already. Adding goals to his game now. He's going to be at NUFC for years to come. Contract extensions are just as important as transfers for Newcastle. In a way, Billy, yes. But I know they've still, there's work to be done on Alexander Isak. There's no doubt about that. And apparently Eddie Howe's going to be overseeing those conversations. But we've got to get some players in the door. And I don't want us to be panic buying later on in the transfer window, Billy. I don't think I'd be comfortable with us just getting PSR buys. If that's what they're truly looking at to keep the costs down, I'm not sure I'm on board with that.
Depends really hard, doesn't it? I mean,
well, yeah, but I mean, Morgan Rogers of Villa, yes. I mean, a tremendous player. And he is the man being touted that Villa will sell to cover their PSR backs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you talk about Manchester United and Chelsea having to sell. I mean, who at Manchester United?
I don't think they do need to sell. I mean, I saw a graph earlier that Chelsea are the furthest from PSR problems in the league.
Yeah,
which is obviously that the reset when the Russians had to sell up. But
they've had more holes, than a porn star, Billy. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they're furthest away from PSR problems in the league, even less than Liverpool, Man City, all of them. Ridiculous.
Right, so I'll ask you a question now, Billy. Okay? Eddie Howe, leading up to this transfer window, said that he expects us to be getting deals done early, going aggressive in the transfer window because of what's happened in the last 3. The first 5 days have sort of just disappeared. Daniel Swale says, "I love the no filter chat." Well, that's what you get on here. It's just a no filter chat. It's what we're all about on here. Is the money there? Do we have this transfer pot that many journalists are talking about? Or is it still something going on behind the scenes that we don't know, that maybe we don't have the money that these journalists are saying we do?
We've clearly got the money. We've just got, we're not allowed to spend, are we?
Well, yeah, we got the money, obviously, yes. But you know what I mean. Our restrictions still
I think it's a constant battle. I think it's a constant battle to stay within the boundaries. And if you're getting into Champions League, you'd expect to be you get the money the year after.
Yeah.
So next season we might be okay again. But I mean, last season we were in a problem with Spurs. It seems to be a constant battle with PSR because I don't know. I think we need more players. You have to increase your squad for Champions League. Once you do that, you put yourself in PSR problems. Don't understand. I don't see how you ever get out of it. I really don't.
It's awful. Baz Down Under says Newcastle are rudderless. Mitchell and the CEO are feet up, throwing Eddie under the bus.
I don't think so. Mitchell was, I think Antonio Cordero is a Mitchell signing by what he was saying today.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, I think he's still doing work, and I think he'll still be doing work up to the end of June.
But like you said, Billy, if we're not making any signings between the 1st and the 10th of June, why are we keeping Mitchell till the end of June? It makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's a puzzling one, because I would expect that they want Mitchell to oversee signings in this first 10-day window.
Well, he's got another 10 years. He's got another part of the June as well. But
yeah. I mean, when does it open again?
I'm not sure. Is it 2 weeks?
I'm sure it's 2. It closes for 2 weeks, then opens again. Somebody in the chat will know.
We told the end anyway, ain't it?
Yeah. So there is options there. I mean, obviously, the window shuts on the 10th and reopens on the 16th. That can't be right, surely. What's the point in closing it?
It's shut for 6 days.
Yeah. It's shut for 6 days. Why? Isn't that just absolutely ridiculous?
Well, that must be how long that Club World Cup things is going on for. Must be.
For God's sake.
So, we've got another fortnight of him after this window. So
yeah, I guess so. 6 days. I thought it was 2 weeks.
But if Eddie Howe doesn't like the players that he's putting on the table for him, then we ain't going to sign anyone, are we?
Well, I mean,
Eddie Howe's not going to sign players that he doesn't want.
God. Well, no, I mean, look, if he's overseeing signings, then he's got to have targets without a doubt. Shane Smith with a couple of super chats. He says, also need to place on record, I slagged Tino off. He's not now. I retract my original comment. Apologies. I'll tell you what we're doing. Waiting until the 30th of June, a PSR deadline to see which clubs have to sell and try to pick up a bargain. Patience.
Well, we should know already which clubs have got to sell.
I know, but I don't just want bargains. I want an elite signing.
John, the thing is, if you're waiting for them to panic on the day before, get it a little bit cheaper, maybe they're waiting for that. Again, every penny is counted for. You've got to, with this PSR nonsense, you're counting every penny. So if you wait to the last minute and they do panic, there is panic sales going on, like we did last season, maybe that's what we're waiting for.
I went into this window, Billy, thinking we'd sign early. I really did. I thought within the first few days we'd make a signing. And maybe I took what Eddie said just a bit too much and thought, we've got a target there, which we're going to nail in the first 3 days and bring him in. And that sort of gets the transfer window off to a very positive start kind of thing. But I guess not. Big Kev with a super chat saying, I watched Loaded Mag last night and their guest said that they were in for Mbeumo but weren't prepared to pay 60 million and only offered 40.
Well, apparently Man United have offered 55. It's been rejected. Now, don't get it. Am I wrong here? But if they've approached a player and they've agreed and he said he wants to go there, is that allowed? It never used to be. Without having contact with the club first and agreeing a fee.
Well, unless Mbeumo himself has come out and said that he'd like to join Manchester United without being tapped up or anything like that. look, I think that move will happen. I mean, if Brentford wants 60, Man United a little bit. I don't know where they're getting the money from, but hey ho. John Bayliss is also a new member of the channel. Thank you very much, John. The whole thing with Manchester United stinks to high heaven. Chelsea stinks to high heaven. Everything does. And here's us talking about the possibility of again, being stuck in PSR restrictions, that we have to be very careful what we bid and when we bid and what wages we give, Billy, because wages go against it as well.
And this is why we should have attracted much more sponsorships. You know, the training ground kit sponsorships everywhere. It doesn't seem like Peter Silverton's done a lot of that, really, does it? I mean, we've got the Noon seller. What else has he done? Well,
to be honest, I think a lot of Newcastle United questions are asking that question, Billy, and I think it's a valid question to ask, to be fair. You know, you see no training shirt sponsors, no training ground sponsor, no real new sponsors for the ground. It's a little bit puzzling. Now, again, is that because he's waiting for certain restrictions to be lifted on sponsorships? I don't know. But shouldn't we have an interim plan to get some sponsors in that could generate a little bit of money?
Well,
it makes no sense.
I don't know what he's doing. I know he's obviously involved in the new stadium and stuff, but come on, sponsorship's a massive part of how you increase your PSR season. We've not had any of it, have we? We've not had any of it apart since the Noon and seller deals.
It's all really, really quiet. Christopher says, breaking news, a giant money tree has been spotted outside Old Trafford, and insiders believe the Premier League helped them plant it. I wouldn't be surprised. Gary's back with another super chat. Thank you, mate. Ask Forrest if Anderson was worth it. Smart bargains become elite. I can wait. That's not a bad point. You know, Brighton again with Minte as well. He's done really well for them. I just meh. It's just all a bit meh. But the problem is, and we've said this for a while now, Billy, is that we're all taken in by what's happened in previous windows. When we've been told not to panic, just we will sign somebody will come in, etc., and then nothing happens. It's like a kick in the balls all the time.
You don't need to make one signing, and yet they still might, of course, still with the 5 days to go.
Yeah,
but one signing just relieves all this tension, all this frustration.
It does.
It relieves it all, and then we can go about our transfer window after it reopens, signing 2 or 3 players then. But they haven't alleviated any fears for me, and it's like you say, every window is the same. We're kind of waiting and being frustrated all the time.
I'm not sitting here for 1 second thinking that there is not a lot of work going on behind the scenes at Newcastle United, because I genuinely believe there is. You know, I'm not sitting here saying that they're doing nothing. Eddie will be working his ass off, right? There's no doubt in my mind about that he'll be trying to get players in. But I guess there's a difference between targeting players, Billy, and actually going out there and approaching the clubs, approaching the players. Newcastle in the past have been very quiet about the business that they've been doing, apart from a couple of players. I mean, the Botman one seemed to go on for forever. But there is players at Newcastle who Newcastle have done the business very quietly with, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, and let's just look at the club as a whole. When the PAF SOP bought it, they got it for £300 million, something like that, maybe to £305 million.
Yeah.
It's now worth $1.1 billion. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they've increased the value of the club by 3 times.
Yeah.
So there should be money to spend PSR-wise, because obviously that increases what you allow PSR, but we spent that much in that first season and first, the first window and the second window and then the third window with Gordon coming in, that we've been struggling ever since and just don't seem to be able to get out of it.
Team Season says, question, Paul, does this now remind you of the Ashley era? Start good first few seasons, then the cash stops. If we don't sign this season, that's 2 years.
Whoa. There wasn't a good first few seasons with Ashley. He got relegated the fucking second season.
Yeah, look, I'm not worried about that. No, it doesn't remind me of Ashley era at all, because the restrictions that are in place, if FFP and PSR was not here, I guarantee we'd have signed 10, 15 players since the takeover, Billy, at least, and quality players at that, and being able to just lash the money at them.
would have signed 5 players per window. That's for certain.
Yeah, and
not cheapos either.
No, big wage players without a shadow of a doubt. So it doesn't remind me of that. No. Right, let's have a look at the poll. We asked you earlier, Grealish on loan, yes or no? 56% said no. So 44% would have Grealish, Billy. That's
madness.
Nearly 800 votes.
Madness, what it is.
Oh God, utter bloody madness that
unless
is.
You've got 44% of the people watching own drinking establishments in the Tyneside area.
Well, yeah, possibly. Gaz Milliken with a super chat saying, hi guys, I do believe we won't sign anyone until July the 1st, as we are still currently in last year's cycle of PSR, which drops off in July. Trust in Eddie. Peter Bjordford says, if a player goes for the wages instead of club potential, he's not worth having. I agree with that, 100%. Chipper says, Chelsea got a shirt sponsor, so why can't we get sponsors?
But they played a whole season without a shirt sponsor, which was bizarre in itself.
Yeah. I mean, we can remember, Billy, early days when they didn't have any sponsors on the shirts, and then and now it looks weird when they don't have any shirt sponsors. David H with a super chat as well. There's no comment there, but thank you very much for that, David. Chelsea will have Delap, Ekitike, Kudus, and Pos. Who?
I don't know, maybe it means Takafusi Kubo. I don't know.
Let's not talk about him, Billy, because that'll upset a lot of people. Delap, he's come out with some interesting comments lately, Billy. At first, he said he turned down Newcastle because of Alexander Isak. And then today, this morning, in an interview, said he's gone to Chelsea to win trophies.
Yeah, I mean, let's remember that all the people at Chelsea, a lot of them he would know from Man City. Maresca would be one. He'd know Cole Palmer. There's lots of people with Man City connections at Chelsea. And I think he might have just gone from familiarity, if truth be told.
Well, possibly.
As well as lots of money.
I'm sorry, I've just seen a comment fly past, and I'm sure it said, I would rather take Miggy back than have Jack Grealish. Wow.
That must be Miggy.
Holy cow. Good evening, Miggy. Hope you're well. Kevin says, I remember the days you had to buy the club badge and stitch it on.
That's going back some years, Kevin.
Good God, Kevin. Let's
rosettes and rattles.
Let's start playing the Hofus tune again. Bloody hell. Kev says, I agree with Spike. We will be fine when the real transfer window starts. I mean, are we worried about nothing, Billy? I mean, is it simply a case of no news is good news?
I think we've got a bit of victim kind of, what's happened the past few windows is still in our heads. And
we got a victim mentality as a Newcastle fan base. Is that what you're trying to say, Billy?
Yeah, I think so. And I think once.
Do you know what? Can you blame us?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I feel a little bit that way myself, to be honest. But I think we have to go. We have to sign players. It's not even a given. We've got to do it. So we need 4 or 5 players. In my opinion, if we don't get 4 or 5 players, we're going to be, especially the Champions League, we're going to look silly. So we've got to increase that squad depth and improve it. It's got to be good. It's got to be done. It's not no negotiables there. It's got to be done.
Alex Leaning says, Paul, have you seen Port Vale's new 150th anniversary kit? Looks stunning. Wish every team could play 1 game per season in a real retro kit. I have seen it, and it is cracking. Have you seen it, Billy?
No, but I saw Germany playing in a retro kit last night.
Yeah. Look, I mean, everybody knows, I follow the NHL ice hockey, obviously, and they play every now and again in a retro kit as well. I think it looks fantastic. But I think it's got something to do with, obviously, TV companies, blah, 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 the usual shite as to why we can't do that. I don't think it'd be a problem for the sponsors, because if we played in a retro kit, we could still get the sponsors on somewhere. Yeah. It's just if you're playing retro kits, obviously the retro kits don't have certain sponsors on or have old sponsors on, of course, as we know, with the old Blue Star. I'd love to see a kit come out with the old Blue Star on. Maybe with, Seller in the middle of the Blue Star, Billy, or something like that. But I mean, the Blue Star was for the brewery, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
So, but it wasn't just a symbol. It was actually the logo for the brewery. Slapping's a bird's arse says Grealish shouldn't even be considered unless he's willing to cut his wage by 75%. Nizza said buying a player this month will have very little impact on 24-25 PSR calculation. Transfer fee, agent fee, signing on bonus is amortized over the contract length. See, I think many different. The PSR thing is just massively confusing, and unless you're in it, Billy, unless you're in the thick of it, I don't think we'll ever know how PSR truly freaking works.
Well, we certainly don't know how much we've got to spend. I think there's lots of clubs in that in the same boat. They don't know how much they're close to the PSR window, and that's why they're in trouble at the end of it. But yeah, it's a ridiculous thing, but you can't invest in your own club.
Oh, it's stupid. It really is. Colin says, what do you all think about going out and spending 500 million and take a small points deduction? Well, listen, if we'd have done that last year when everybody was saying it, we wouldn't be in the Champions League this season. And if we did it next season and then, we miss out on, God forbid, the championship, the title by 2 or 3 points, everybody will look back and say, well, we took a chance. But I'll tell you something now, right? And I've said this for a long time. We've seen various clubs be fined for PSR, points deductions, blah, blah, blah. But I can guarantee you this. The Premier League and the cartel are just waiting for Newcastle United to fail PSR or fail something. And I can bet my mortgage on it, right? That they would come with a much bigger fine than we've ever seen for any other team, Billy. Because they've just been waiting for that moment to pounce on us.
Thing is with this PSR thing is once you get on the slippery slope, it's hard to get out of it. Everton got done twice for it. I think Forest got done twice for it. I mean, there's Forest fans in the chat. They'll correct me if I'm wrong, but once you're in that slippery slope, it's hard to get out of it. To take a point deduction, maybe the £500 of the players would have got more than the points that they might have got 20 points and we'd lose 12. So
yeah.
Who knows?
Naked Noise Boy says, I've just ordered 2 stickers and a granny T-shirt. Thank you, mate. Thank you. The granny T-shirts have been very popular, Billy.
Wayne Rooney got one?
Well, surprisingly not. He hasn't come in with an order yet. I thought he might have by now, but I haven't heard much from Wayne Rooney at all. I thought he would have jumped at the chance to have a couple of granny T-shirts. Clued says, Paul, Billy, if we haven't signed anyone by the time our first pre-season game comes around, would you be panicking?
Probably, yes. Probably.
Yeah, I think so. I maybe he's not panicking, but I'd certainly be asking a lot of questions as to what the hell is going on. But I mean, when is the first pre-season game? Mid-July?
Yeah, we should have played him by then.
Go on, Bennett. I mean,
if we haven't, then.
I mean, look, we go to Celtic. We go to Celtic on the 19th, don't we? I think so, because I'm on holiday the day after. So we will have, I presume that will be broadcast live, Billy. So we will have a watch along for that.
Yeah.
But if we haven't signed anyone by the Celtic game, I think that all Newcastle fans will be asking questions because you want to see your new players in pre-season. What's the point? You can't, and this is what Eddie was alluding to in his press conferences. He wants players in to have a pre-season with the new club.
And maybe he thinks early. We're thinking June the 1st to June the 5th, how long the 10-day window is.
Yeah.
But he might be thinking before the window, before the first pre-season game. Maybe he's thinking July the 5th. And that would still be early and into what business we've done before the club, wouldn't it? So,
well, yeah, I think Eddie will want the players in before we start pre-season. And I think if we start pre-season training and we haven't signed anybody, then I think there might be a problem.
Yeah, because maybe that's the definition of early is different to what we've taken it as this first 10-day part of the window.
I mean, maybe for the first few weeks of this window, we just enjoyed being linked to really good players. And then, you never know, 2 or 3 of them might just come off and stop the stress and the worry. And 19th of July is the first game. So that's the Celtic game, isn't it? I think we might have a couple before then, maybe against Gateshead, Billy, or something like that. I think we'll have a couple of run-outs before we go to Parkhead. I don't foresee the Parkhead game being the very first one. I think we'll have a maybe behind closed doors games or something just to get the team rallying a little bit. Going into the Celtic game as the first one, I think is a bit.
It's a bit Lions Denny, isn't it?
Yeah, because we'll be wanting to win that game. I mean, I know it's
sure.
pre-season, but we want to put on a show. David with another super chat says, if June the 30th is the end of the financial year, then we probably have limited cash now and more in July. So we need to wait for big ones and use the cash now for PSR buys. As soon as we are heavily linked with a player, we almost know we won't go for them. The only player who we did was Botman. Bruno was heavily linked, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it was Paqueta before Bruno, wasn't it? We all thought Paqueta was coming in, and then I mean, what do you think about the Paqueta thing, Billy? Because his hearing apparently is being finished, and they're going to announce the results in around a month's time. I find that a little bit strange.
Yeah, to me it's strange, but I don't know. I don't understand it. Yeah. I really don't understand it. I mean, why?
It's very strange.
Why? Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Brazil have got games and they want them to play, but I don't know.
Shane says, will you do commentaries on the pre-season? I remember you did Gateshead 2 years ago, and that's when I found your channel. Yes, mate, we will cover them all. As long as the broadcast and we get to watch them somewhere, which genuinely they are now. And I think especially with Newcastle United, if it's not on TV, it's on their YouTube channel, or we normally get it off our provider as well. So we will have everything on here as much as possible. And if we can't watch the game, we'll probably just go on air while the game's on anyway, and sort of, just watch the scoreline tick along, Billy. I used to spend hours doing that, looking at the bloody video printer on, CFAX was, you used to, I think it was, I can't remember if it was a BBC one or ITV one. I remember the first division stroke Premier League when it kicked off used to be page 331 for the latest scores.
Yeah.
And then when it used to tick over, like it used to go, what, page 1 of 3, page 2 of 3. And then you would wait to click back over to see if Newcastle had scored. Normally back then it was see who scored against Newcastle, of course. But
you take forever, didn't it, sometimes, though. If the goal had scored and your page, sometimes you skip it and you think, someone scored on that page.
Yeah. And then you sort of, oh my God, kind of thing. But it's funny how it works, Billy. It's funny how it works.
Tony Scotty again, Christ. That's 3.
He used to love a goal against us, didn't he? Contact made. PIF now make approach to sign unbelievable £50 million forward. I guarantee you this is Madueke, right? I'm just having a quick look on here now. And it is... Well, come on, then get on with it. Yes.
It's Madueke.
Yeah, there's a lot of headlines coming up now saying that we're moving for phenomenal. I mean, the way these journalists make it sound like, I mean, I'm reading unbelievable, phenomenal, incredible. I mean, it is.
I think he's a very good player.
I do think he's a good player, Billy. Don't get me wrong. Listen, I wouldn't complain. Mark says, Paul, can you remember Hilton Ruggles? Yes, I can. Canadian, used to play for Whitley Warriors. I'm still mates with him, actually. Still speak to him on Facebook. Great guy. Madueke obviously is a good player, Billy, but like we said at the start, he tailed off a lot. I mean, Sophie clearly doesn't like him. He's a bum. I believe did he not start off with a hat-trick? Because he was linked.
He may have done, yeah.
Wasn't he not linked with us briefly last year? And then he actually went on and scored a hat. Was it against Wolves?
Yeah, he did. Absolutely, yeah. There was rumours of him moving this time last year. And then Chelsea started playing, Mercy started playing him, and he got a hat-trick early doors, didn't he? That kind of...
Or 4 goals. He got 4, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, 4, yeah.
Brilliant start. But he just tailed off, and I don't think... I don't think he was. Was he great last season? I haven't seen enough of Chelsea to say that. But did he play a lot?
Well, Cole Palmer.
Bloody hell! No,
Cole Palmer plays out there. They signed Neto. There's lots of competition for places wide for Chelsea.
Well, Sophie says Madueke can't hit a barn door. He is literally Miggy in disguise. His highlights are even misses. Oh dear.
Well, that's the case. I mean, I don't know. I've got England captain.
Stephen says they stopped playing him.
They did, yeah.
So why? That's a question you have to ask. You know, if he's linked with us, why have they stopped playing him? You know,
Palmer came back in on that side, didn't he? And also Neto signed, but did he get an injury? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh God, Shane says I need to go back and watch the prediction show. That will be fun. I had West Ham well up there. Please don't, Shane.
We need to do that as well, don't we?
Do you know what? I think we might. I might look at them tomorrow, Billy, and then for the show tomorrow night, because I know Sam will be back on tomorrow night, of course. So it'll be interesting to see what we predicted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be very good predictions, by the way, because I had Ipswich in the top 10. I think. I don't know why.
I think I had Southampton now as well.
I think I was heavily medicated that night, Billy. In all honesty,
I can't remember. I know I had us at third.
Yeah, we might do that tomorrow night, actually, just to take the weight off this bloody transfer window. Because
yes.
But there you go. That is the show done and dusted, guys. Thank you so much. I know. Listen, I would love to sit here and talk about us making approaches for loads of players, but unfortunately, it's not. Again, it's been a great show tonight, discussing everything with Billy and discussing everything with yourselves in the chat as well. That's what we love on this show. It's completely unscripted. We just talk about Newcastle, talk about football with you guys, and it's great to do that, even when it's quiet. You know, we managed to put the shows together, and you guys come in your droves again. I mean, 2,300 watching tonight on both platforms. Incredible. So thank you very much. I hope, I mean, we've done these shows now for nearly 3 years without any signings, which is pretty good going.
Especially transfer deadline day when we were sat on our asses for 12 hours.
Fuck me. Yeah. By the way, Billy came up with a suggestion. The transfer window this year shuts at 7 o'clock, which is a godsend that we don't have to go until 11 o'clock at night. However, Billy then came up and said, oh, well, we'll still do 12 hours. We'll start at 7 in the morning. So you can imagine that went down like a lead balloon between me and Sam and obviously Alex as well. 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, look. Last year, Billy, we went on in the middle of the night, didn't we, for the Australia game against the All-Star? Oh, dear God, to do the commentary on that one. And that was dear. But there'll be some strange kickoff times in pre-season, of course. Singapore, Korea. So it'll be very, very exciting. But thank you for watching tonight, guys. Yes, there's 2 deadlines, Shane, but we're not doing a deadline for the 10th of June. No way. That's just silly. Especially when it opens in 6 days' time from it. Mental. But thanks for watching, guys. Please do give it a like if you've enjoyed it. It takes 2 seconds to do so. It tells the algorithm on YouTube that something is really good is happening on this channel and puts it out there to other fans to hopefully subscribe like yourselves. And if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free of charge. We are on the way very quickly now to 40,000 subscribers, guys, and that's all down to you. Thank you so much for that. So if you're not subscribed yet, hit the button, free of charge. But make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. Thank you again to Mamaroo Records for sponsoring the channel. Based in Whitley Bay, go and see Steve for all your music needs. If you can't get into the store itself, check them out online. That is pinned at the top of the description, along with our link to our website where you'll find all the merchandise at thetoonreview.com. There's T-shirts, there's hoodies, there's caps, there's aprons, there's tea towels, there's all sorts on there, guys. So go and have a look. Get yourself a nice gift to support the channel or buy someone you love something nice as well. Caboose says, what was the poll? It was 56% in favour of Jack Grealish not coming on loan to Newcastle. So Yeah. Yes, there is drinkware on there as well. I might change that just to drinks, Billy.
No, don't put drinks. They'll be expecting drinks then, won't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, what would you word it as then?
What does drinkware describe as? What is it?
Well, drinkware is like just mugs.
Mugs.
And yeah. Mugs and travel mugs and,
accessories. I don't know. Drinkware's fine. He's only stat out and his OCD.
Oh, it's just because he's posh.
And me joining in with him.
Well, because you're just a twat. It's nothing to do with OCD with you. You're just a twat.
Now I'm just jumping on the bandwagon, I am.
Absolutely. Right. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep your eyes open because any breaking news, of course, we'll bring it to you. The news shows will continue. The live shows will continue. We'll be with you all through the summer, of course. Looking forward to the new season. But enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for your merchandise. Thank you for your memberships and super chats. Mods, thank you. Billy, thank you. And a huge thank you to you guys. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you very soon. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out the green.